Hello and welcome to the Using Apps to Get Things Done in Your Solo Biz. My name is Heather Wilson and I am from Inner Enthusiasm Consulting. Our aim is to help solo entrepreneurs to use technologies and apps to run their business more productively and more efficiently. So welcome today. This is our free online workshop. We are going to learn today how to manage to-do lists, how to automate tedious tasks. I'm going to show you a couple worthwhile apps that are really necessary for a solo entrepreneur to use just to get a handle on their business and to really start enjoying running their business again because they're not focusing on tedious things. I'm going to show you how you can use apps and technology to woo potential clients and also help you look more professional. So all of this stuff can be done by using apps within your solo entrepreneur endeavor. So first I want to apologize. I am fighting allergies today, so my voice is a little scratchy, but hopefully we'll get through this pretty good and that we won't have any issues on the audio side. If you could do me a quick favor and in your chat box, which should be on the left-hand side of your screen, please send me a quick note just to let me know that you can hear the audio okay in your end, and we'll make sure we don't have any issues there. Okay, so I'm getting some responses in here that it's fine, everything's okay. Good, okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to do is just say that today I'm going to share some of the apps that I use to run my business, and many other businesses and solo entrepreneurs are using these same apps and software technologies to get more productivity and get things done in their business. So a disclaimer is that these are just apps that I personally use, and I am in no way getting compensated for recommending them, but I know that they do work. They've been tried and true and tested, so I want to share that, and they have been a great asset for me and for many others. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. The way I'll do my webinar today is we're going to actually just take a look at some of the apps that are on the Internet and show you how to get them and basically what they will offer for you. So the first thing, let's talk about managing to-do lists. So as a solo entrepreneur, of course, you're going to have several things that you have to get done within a day. You may have different projects that you're working on that may be long-term or short-term, and there's going to be several tasks that are going to be associated with getting those projects completed. So a good way to manage that is to have some kind of task management tool. So one that I found is really helpful for me is LifeTick. And LifeTick can be found by going to www.lifetick.com. And they have two different versions of the software. So LifeTick for individuals, as you'll see up here in the top left. You have LifeTick for individuals, or you can have LifeTick for coaches and managers. So depending on your individual case, you'll select whichever one of those versions is best for you. So I think the difference between them, LifeTick for individuals and LifeTick for coaches and managers, is that coaches and managers allows you to manage tasks for other people. So if you're working with clients and you want to have tasks that your clients are supposed to work on and you'd like to keep track of those tasks for your clients and also have a way of reminding them of those tasks, you can use that version for coaches and managers. So what I always look for first in the app is the cost. And so this is actually one of they have free accounts and they also have different pricing levels. So you can see which version would be the best for you, but I always start off with a free account first and make sure that that application is something that's going to be worthwhile or something that I'll actually use. So start setting that up first with a free account. So as you can see here, it says goal setting the way it should be. So it's really a web-based software that gets you on the path to success. That's their tagline. So as you can see the screenshot here, you actually will define different goals and then the tasks associated with each of those goals. What's really good is that you can put a due date on your task. And you know, sometimes you put a due date on tasks and they just sit there and you don't really know that the due date is approaching, you don't have any reminders. So with LiveTick, it's really helpful because you can set that due date for that task, but then you can set it up to be reminded of the task daily or weekly until you complete that task. So you always have a reminder of what the task is that you're working towards until you get there. So then that reminder will keep coming through to you. You can set it up with your email that lets you know, hey, this is your task for the week. Your due date is this date, but just as a reminder, you are supposed to be working on this task. So this saves you time trying to remember what's on your to-do list because it's going to be automatically pushed to you in your email. And you also can set it up other ways to notify you as well. So you don't have to go out of your way to find where the to-do list is stored or remember where it's stored. It's automatically going to be pushed to you. So these simple notifications are going to keep you up to date without you having to do anything. Well, just a side note is if you do have these pushed to your email, then you can check your email in the morning and then know exactly what you should be working on for the day. Another side note about email, just to put this out here. So train yourself to try to check your email only twice per day. We do waste a lot of time checking email, and that can be a big productivity killer. So if you check your email twice per day, once midday, so after you've already completed some urgent or important tasks in the morning, then check your email and see what other things you may need to do. So then check your email and then add those things that you need to take action on to your to-do list. And then also, the second time you should check your email is about 1 hour before you're going to end your workday. And this will give you a chance to see if anything new has popped up, and those items can then be added to your to-do list. And I suggest adding those new items to your to-do list for the following day. So you know exactly if there's anything urgent that's come through at the end of the day that you have to work on that first thing in the morning. So this keeps you focused on completing tasks that are already on your plate without adding more things to do for your email requests. Especially if you're checking your email several times a day, it just gets you unfocused and you start working on priorities that may not necessarily be very urgent. So that is my side note about email. Try to only check your email only twice per day. But this software program, LiveTick, can help you do that, so that you know that you're still on task because you've been reminded of your to-do list tasks, and you can continue on with whatever else is urgent on your priorities. That is one tool to be very helpful for managing your to-do list. So another thing is, okay, we all have tedious tasks that have to be done within our business. These are things that are just a requirement. We may not love them. They're pretty tedious. They're repetitive. We have to do them over and over. And it's really not one of the passions around why we started our business. So a way that can help you work with those tedious tasks is to figure out a way to automate those tasks so that you don't have to even worry about working on them. So one tool that is fabulous that I use is called If Then This, or If This Then That, excuse me. And it is IFTT. So to get to it on the internet, we'll just do www.ifttt.com. And it's a software that is called If This Then That, IFTTT. And so you see here, it says put the internet to work for you. So I'm already on IFTT, but we'll learn more. So what you can do is it creates powerful connections with that statement, the if this then that statement. So what it does is every time a trigger occurs, then it does an action. And what's so great about it is it connects all of your different channels that you're already using. So if you're using Twitter, if you're using Facebook, Evernote, your email, SMS, all of these different channels can be connected into if this then that. And so you can use those channels to communicate to each other. So let's see. Here's an example of a trigger. So this trigger can be if I'm tagged in a photo on Facebook, or if I post a tweet on Twitter, then it does a particular action. And that action can say, okay, so if I'm tagged in a photo, then the action that should be taken is a text message should be automatically sent to me. Or if I post a tweet on Twitter, automatically create a status message on Facebook for me. So you see how the automation is in there. So now you don't have to go to both Facebook and Twitter to first go to Facebook to see what is the photo that I'm tagged in, and then go to Twitter to post that and send a tweet out on that picture. All of that stuff automatically happens with this and that. For a different ingredient, you hear that it tells what do you look for in that trigger. So if we say our trigger is an email, so we look in the subject, the body, the attachment. If that ingredient is there, so let's say if it's a particular person that's emailing me, I want you to send a note to my Evernote notebook from that person. Or if I get an email from an important client with a particular subject, say it's Project 123, make a to-do task in my on my to-do list. So you see how you can automate all of this stuff. So instead of having to go to email, check email several times a day, you can have these triggers set up to say, anytime I get an email with this subject, or this body, this attachment, automatically send it on and do an action to it. So you can see how powerful that is. So you can see a couple, they call them recipes. So you build recipes. I'll move my screen over a little bit so you can see the whole in here. There we go. So now, we'll look at, so they call them recipes. Anytime you put channels together with triggers, actions, and ingredients. So they have both personal recipes, so these are recipes that you set up for your personal use. You can set up as many as you want to. So as you can see, here's another one. If a new photo is taken by me in Instagram, then have that file automatically go into a Dropbox. It can be your Dropbox. It can be a shared Dropbox. So it can automatically go to someone else, too, if you have access to their files. And then also, in addition to the personal recipes, you have the shared recipes. And so these are recipes that the community of the if, this, and that have come up with, and you can use those as well and make them your personal recipes. So you have a way you can look at all the shared recipes. You can also turn those recipes on and off. So if you want to suspend a particular recipe from triggering, you can turn that on and off. And then it also asks you what the polling. Well, it tells you what your polling period is, and it checks for that new data every 15 minutes. So there may be some that are quick triggers, so that means they run as soon as I receive that trigger data, and those will be identified as such. But just think about that. Always forwarding emails that come up from a certain person or from with a certain subject. You want all that stuff to automatically go somewhere else, so it's out of your email. You don't have to worry about it. This is the service that can do that for you. Let's take a look at some of the channels. It has now 51 channels, and they're always adding new channels. So you can see the different applications that you can connect up here. Some of the good ones. Google Drive is in here. Gmail is here. LinkedIn. You can also get a phone call. So even if you get an email from a particular subject, you can have the service set up so that it calls your phone number and lets you know what that is, what the trigger was triggered. So you can see you can get SMS text messages. Tumblr. You can post blogs. We have WordPress here as well. I've seen some recipes set up where in the morning it will check an RSS feed for what the weather is, and then it will send a text to you to say, hey, the weather's going to be great today, or hey, the weather's going to be rainy today. And so you can set up those recipes just to automate a lot of things. So instead of you checking the weather every morning, it's going to be automatically pushed to you so that you know exactly what's going on without you having to do anything, which is pretty awesome for a solo entrepreneur that has not a lot of extra time to do these things. So this is great. It helps you automate all of those tedious tasks that you have to deal with on a daily basis. That is If This Then That. Again, the website again is ifttt.com. So this service is free as well, and so that is another plus. It's low cost and it doesn't add to your bottom line, or doesn't add to your expenses. The next thing I'm going to talk about is how we can deliver easy client service and how we can woo potential clients. And one way I do that is through MailChimp. So if you're not using an email marketing platform yet, you definitely need to do that. That is the way you can communicate with your customers. And MailChimp is a service that helps you create those easy email newsletters. So it helps you design them, and it helps you to share them on social networks. It integrates with a lot of other platforms out there. So you always want to look for in your applications is how easily do they interact and integrate with other applications, because things in our business are always connected. We have a business system, and when we look at apps and new technology, look at how well it's going to interface with what you're doing existingly. Okay, so MailChimp. One good way to deliver easy client service is you can set up autoresponders based on when someone joins your list. So you can automatically say if someone signs up on a Thursday, you set up your autoresponder to automatically 3 days later send them another email that says, hey, thank you for signing up again, and here are some of our upcoming workshops. You can automatically do that. Or if in your sign-up form you ask them what their birthday is or the anniversary of their business opening, you can set that up to have an autoresponder automatically send them a birthday email or an anniversary email on that date. So that is another thing that you can do as far as automating it and delivering easy client service. You don't have to keep remembering all of these dates and remembering what you're going to do when those dates come up. It's automatically going to be within your in this case, MailChimp account. If you meet someone and you've added them to the list, you can also send up a follow-up email and say, hey, let's connect. Let's get together and talk more about what we were talking about when we met. You can set that up to be an autoresponder as well. That is a way you can help to continue building a relationship, and that is where you get the most success in your business. So MailChimp helps you to have segmentation of your list. So what you're doing is you're building your email list. Segmentation allows you to say, okay, I have this long list of subscribers, but they have different attributes that I want to separate them with. So I want to send people that were born in October, I want to send them an October discount. If they were born in September, I want to send them a September discount. So you can segment your list to allow different emails to go out to different people. So that is another great thing. So you don't have to worry about going through your list manually and saying, okay, I need to send this email to this person, this other email to another person. This automatically can be done with using segmentation in MailChimp. There's also a lot of swift integration with a new transactional email app that they have called Mandrill. And so this works with transactional email. Basically, transactional email is different from your email newsletter that you may send out because it's not bulk. So these transactions is when a particular person makes this transaction, say they make a purchase from your website, then this will automatically trigger an email to be sent out. So for instance, say if someone visits your website and they watch a video on your website, that transaction can trigger a newsletter or a tip sheet or a white paper to go out automatically to that person maybe a couple of days later. So yeah, you've seen that they're an interested potential client, and so you want to keep that person warm and send them some additional information to get them more interested in your business. They have beautiful templates that you can use to send out your communications, and that really leads and lends to a professional image. So you're not just sending out emails from your regular email client, sending thank you notes and surveys and donation requests. You can set up all of that stuff using the templates in MailChimp so that you look professional and that you deliver a quality product and you look like you know what you're doing on your end. And that's, you want people to be able to trust you, and you can build that trust by sending out quality marketing materials and communication. That is another one. And there's a lot of other stuff you can do with MailChimp. Go in here and find out what the features are. They have several resources and support for you to find out exactly what else you can do with MailChimp. This is a really easy way for you to just deliver that easy client service and then move your potential clients. So now I want to share with you, there are hundreds and hundreds of apps out there. And you don't want to have to spend time, and you probably don't have any time to spend going through all of the apps that are out there and trying to find which ones are worthwhile. So what I've come up with is this quick little tip sheet. I sent this out in my last newsletter, and it's 7 apps that every solo business owner should use to save their sanity and run a business that they love. So the 7 apps are, some of them we've talked about already, and some of them I've just mentioned. These apps are going to help you to automate a lot of your processes, to present a professional image, and also just to keep up with everything that you have to do as a solo business owner. So we just talked about MailChimp. MailChimp we can use for your email marketing. But the next one we have is Gmail. So if you're, of course, there's different email clients out there, but Gmail is going to give you a lot of flexibility and integration. Remember I talked about integration, being able to integrate with other apps. So Gmail has a lot of integrations available. Like you saw when we looked at If This Then That, Gmail was one of the channels that is used in that service. And so you can connect to Gmail and use it in more ways than just sending emails to contacts. So Gmail is a great one to manage. You can also manage accounts that are not Gmail specific with the @gmail.com domain. If you have a specific domain where your other email addresses are set up, you can also bring those into Gmail and then manage them from one place. So even if you have 6 or 7 email addresses for different reasons, you can manage them all from one interface. So I'll skip over here to Evernote. Evernote, if you're not using it, it's a great note-taking application. It's a way for you to keep track of websites that you visited and want to keep the information and visit them later. It just remembers everything for you. It eliminates all the open tabs that you may have in your browser. It eliminates having sticky notes everywhere. You can take Evernote with you because it's got mobile apps for Android and iPhone and your iPad. So all of your notes are going to be synced across every single device. Plus they have a web interface so that you can get onto their service, even if you just have a computer with internet service. Excuse me. So Evernote is really great. It is also one that can be integrated with a lot of other apps. So that is also a plus. We'll go to Dropbox. Dropbox, a lot of people use this for files, so you have you're given a free amount of storage space. I think it's at 2 gigabytes right now, where you can store files. And so you can keep these files in Dropbox rather than having them on your computer. Dropbox also has the functionality where you can access them from different devices as well. So you can load the Dropbox app on your Android phone or your iPhone. Those same files will be available wherever you are. It's very helpful. Another feature of Dropbox is that you can share your folders. And so if you have a folder set up for a particular client and you want to share large files with that client or just to put files in there so they can have access to them, Dropbox is a great way to share those files amongst collaborators. So we're going to back up here. Hootsuite is one that's going to help you manage your social media. So if you have a Facebook account, if you have a Twitter account, you can integrate all of those together and have one dashboard that shows what's happening on all of those channels. What's also good from a solo entrepreneur standpoint is that Hootsuite allows you to schedule your social media posts. So you can, if you know you're going to have a webinar coming up and you want to spread the word, you can go in Hootsuite and set up a schedule to say, hey, send out this tweet 1 week before my webinar, send it 4 days before my webinar, 1 day, and 30 minutes before my webinar starts. You can schedule all that stuff 2 weeks out, and then you can forget about it. So you automatically are going to be communicating with your customers and getting the word out without you having to do a lot of thinking along with it. So Hootsuite is great for scheduling your posts and doing that on an automated basis. Some of the smaller, the ones that people probably haven't heard of and they're a little bit newer is Hojoki. Hojoki is going to be a way for you to connect all the applications that you use in the cloud. So there are different applications, and I'll show you what Hojoki looks like as well. And it's going to be sort of like If This Then That, but it is just going to connect those applications into one dashboard. So we'll go there in Hojoki.com. Think of all of the cloud apps that you have, and you can see which ones, you can pull them all into one dashboard. So here is the different apps they have already got integrated. So we have Basecamp, Basecamp Classic, Beanstalk, Box, Cheddar, Cloud App, Delicious, Dropbox, talk about Dropbox, Evernote, Google Calendar, Google Contacts. So you see all of these can be brought together. Twitter is in here, To-Do-List. So this application lets you have one news feed for all of your apps so that you can go to one place and see everything that's been updated from your Facebook or Twitter. If something new has been added to your Dropbox, something new has been added to your Basecamp project management tool. So this is where you can go just to be updated on what is going on with all of my accounts. Everything that I use in the cloud, this is what is happening out there. So use Hojoki to do that. So you just kind of feel like you're a little bit more organized. You're going to get push notifications that let you know in real time if anything has changed within your app. What's also helpful is that they send you daily catch-up, so it tells you everything that's happened in the last 24 hours. And then on the weekends, it also says in a summary email what's been going on and achieved during that week. So if you've checked off things off your list, if you sent out all these tweets, and you've got a lot of documents being passed and back and forth between you and your clients, all this stuff will be highlighted in that weekly or weekend summary email. So Hojoki is a great one just to keep track of everything that's going on in real time. Another one that is kind of like If This Then That is there, saying this is for a business app. So Zapier and we'll go there too. Zapier is going to be like if this and that, but for your business app. So we'll go to Zapier.com. And you can kind of see how it's similar to the if this and that we talked about earlier, where we automated some of our tedious tasks. So what it's going to do is have all of these different channels, the same way that we had channels in if this and that. But these are more related to business apps that are used by a lot of people. They currently have 96 different apps, and you can see here all of the different apps they have got integrated into their service. So the good ones that we use, Google Calendars here, Evernote, Google Drive, even Eventbrite, Harvest, which is a time tracking tool. MailChimp is there. Mandrill, we can talk about the transactional email. That is here as well. Here's a nice one, Notify on my Android. So there are 96 different, these are business productivity apps that they're going to be connected together. WordPress is on here. Woohoo, Forms. So it works about the same as if this and that. So what you do is you just drag an app in here and say what that trigger is going to be. For instance, Dropbox, different triggers for Dropbox is anytime there's a new directory or there's a new file in the directory. And then say you want to use Eventbrite. So anytime this triggers, anytime there's a new organizer for an event, a new event, or a new attendee, that can be your trigger. And then different actions. So let's say we use Dropbox again, the different actions here on the right-hand side. So let's say that we can use Dropbox as a trigger and the action. So anytime a new file is in a directory in Dropbox, then create a new folder. And that's a different kind of example, but it shows that you can do different actions and triggers with just your business app. So Zapier is a great one. Here's one. So just for we'll spin their little wheel up here, and it gives you an example of what it can do. So it says you can push your SkyDrive file in directories to a friendly test automatically. The key word here is automatically. As solo entrepreneurs, we don't have a lot of time to do things manually all the time. We want some stuff to happen in the background, especially stuff that we don't necessarily care to do or are not passionate about doing. We want to set up some automatic stuff. So this is another tool that you can use to do some of those things on autopilot. So here's another example. We push batch book person to an AOL Instant Messenger IM automatically. So really look at that tool as well. I use that one extensively. It just frees up a lot of your time. You'll find that you have a lot more time to focus on those things that actually make you money. So going out and meeting new clients, setting up meetings, actually delivering your service, or creating new products. You have more time to do that when you can set up a lot of your tasks to run automatically without you. So those are the 7 that are absolutely important. We talked about a few other ones earlier as well, but all of these apps, like I said, they're going to save you time. They're not a lot of money. Most of these apps are free for you to use unless you need a premium version. But like I said before, start off with your free versions first and see how it can help you. And then if you need more capabilities later on, then you can add those and upgrade. But they're going to help you save time, save money. You're not paying someone to do some of these tedious tasks that you don't necessarily like to do. And then you can also you'll look more professional. You'll have quick follow-ups with your customers. So you have autoresponders set up. They're going to be customized experiences, and you're really showing a quality image to the public. All of these things are helping you to design for automation and productivity. So all of this is going to lead to a more polished, professional image, helps you stay on task so that you can do what you say you're going to do. So you're just going to look more professional overall. And when you look more professional, you have a quality product, you're actually serving your customers and you're wooing your potential clients. That all leads to a successful business. More clients, more customers, and you'll meet your different goals. So I hope that I have at least shared one app that you'll put into use in your business now that you haven't been using before. As usual, this webinar was recorded so that you can watch it later and actually go over things that you may not have caught the first time around, and you want to review that. And then also I'll send out my contact information so that you can contact me with any questions. And once again, I appreciate your time on the call. I'm actually going to have 5 minutes. I will open up the call for questions. If anyone has any questions, please use your chat box, and we will answer those for you. All right, so we don't have any questions. That's great for now, but of course I'll have your, if you have questions, you have my contact information to reach out and let me know what you need, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. And once again, thank you for joining our Using Apps to Get Things Done in Your Solo Business webinar, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thank you and have a great day.
Rapid eye movement. Rapid eye movement. Rapid eye movement. Rapid eye movement.